We're facing a future with vaccine passports. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's have a look at this article from news.com.au discussing, well, venues being able to ask for proof of vaccination. Now, I can understand why businesses want to do this. 100%. They want to get open. They want to get on with business. They want to welcome clients. They want to jump through the hoops, the bullshit health and safety things that they need to do to get business going. I can completely understand that. I can understand why people are scared. They want to minimize the risks to each other. But I'm concerned of where this path is heading. I'm concerned that this is, well, maybe to be a bit overly dramatic, creating a divide between us and them. That's not the type of Australia that I was brought up in, or that at least I was taught. It's not the type of Australia that we want. What do you reckon, everyone? Do you think people's personal medical decisions should be used to bar them entry to a premises or not? What if it just begins at this? What if then? Well, we either go completely remove any anti-discrimination legislation at all and allow people and businesses to discriminate willy-nilly however they want, or you don't allow them to discriminate. That's the thing. We're in this mishmash bullshit type of situation now where governments and organizations can have positive discrimination or affirmative action. They can be racist, they can be sexist, they can help one little special interest group. So, yeah, not really the merit-based society Australia is meant to be, isn't it? It's probably those that have the most political power. Anyway, venues will soon be able to ask patrons for proof of coronavirus vaccinations. So do you need to print out your Medicare certificate and take it with you when you go to the pub? Everything from pubs to stadiums will soon be allowed to ask patrons for proof they've been vaccinated as the nation battles the Delta strain. Pubs, hairdressers, even sports stadiums could soon be allowed to ask patrons to show proof of COVID vaccination as a condition of entry, but only if the states agree to enact new public health orders. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has again confirmed the controversial idea is a live option currently being weighed by the National Cabinet. But he stressed it's currently illegal to ask customers their vaccination status, and business owners should not put any restrictions in place until any future reforms are finalized and enacted. Here's the thing. I thought when we're hitting 80%, we don't need to worry about it anymore. Is this just now for this period until we reach that 80% goal that you'll be able to discriminate against people? Or is it going forward that you'll be able to discriminate against people? And what type of precedent does this set? The law doesn't allow for that, I should stress. I mean, unless there's a public health order, just like it wouldn't allow for someone to stop you from going to a venue. That's my advice, the Prime Minister told 5AA Radio in Adelaide. But state governments can put those in place. Phase B of the plan is all about ensuring that those who have been vaccinated do get exempted from restrictions. So that's what's going to happen in ScoMo's exit strategy. That's what we'll see. And here's the poll on news.com.au, a conservative news website. Would you support a vaccine passport? 55% said yes. It would encourage more people to get vaccinated. And they're right. It would. And no, it is unfair to discriminate, 45%. Oh, well, there you go. That's 10%. That's a huge number in favor of it. We'll have to see how this poll goes and progresses. But that's a democracy, everyone. Mob rule. There you have it. We like telling others what to do in Australia. So, on Friday, the Prime Minister outlined a new roadmap for the COVID recovery that it requires all the states to get to 70% target for vaccinations. But it's under the second phase of the roadmap known as Phase B that special rules would allow greater freedoms to the vaccinated when the vaccination rate reaches 80% in state jurisdictions. Deputy Prime Minister, not the PM yet, Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce warned on Sunday that some business owners wanted the right to ask customers if they have been vaccinated. Well, that just means people won't go to those businesses. People in private enterprise are going to say, look, I've got rights here too, Mr. Joyce told Sky News. If you want to come into my barber shop or my childcare facility, then I have a right to say, maybe, have you been inoculated? Sure, okay, you do. You have that right. So we're going to open it all up. What if you don't want to support people with a particular political opinion? You know, have you ever voted Greens in your entire life? Oh, sorry, we can't do business with you. Your opinions are too dangerous. We need to limit your financial freedom or restrictions. Is that the Australia that we want to get, guys? This is the real discussion that we're having. What road do we want Australia to go? You tell me. You know, I see benefits to both sides. If you have rampant discrimination in the market, it'll sort it out real quick. But then people will be crying to a current affair, no one's coming to my business. You know, I'm being a complete douchebag. Funny that. And if you say you haven't, I've got a right as the owner of the shop to say I can't have you sitting in a seat next to someone who has. Why? Is there the risk? The person who hasn't got the inoculation is the risk, aren't they? They're the ones at risk of succumbing to this. I think people are just scared. People are just scared. This is just fear. A lot of this is fear, uncertainty, wanting to get back to normal, or as close to normal as we could. Because I don't remember ever having to show my Medicare. You know, the last time I got a whooping cough when I went to the bloody coffee shop. But, you know, I'm just a privileged Australian used to so many... Have you heard this bullshit argument on Twitter? You know, we're so privileged. We're privileged Australians, so any little tiny restrictions on our life, like having to give up our private medical details to buy a bloody coffee, you know, we're just so privileged we can't handle it. You'll hear that bullshit. Oh, come on. I'm not surprised, though. I am not surprised in the slightest. The Prime Minister said... it was a fair question and an issue that was being considered by National Cabinet. Well, do we really want the politician? We need a group of moral and ethical philosophers to help support this, to make these decisions for us. Do we really think the politicians are up to that task? Not by the way they're definitely not career politicians. Maybe we need a referendum on this. That'll probably get in. See, I honestly think people who advocate for liberty and freedom are fast becoming a minority in Australia. So, it's one that state governments would ultimately have to make decisions on. Well, we're definitely getting it then here with the Labor government we have in Queensland. 100% it's coming in. But they're the only ones who can. Those powers don't exist at a Commonwealth level, Mr. Morrison said. Yeah, but you'll be blamed, ScoMo. You'll be blamed. There are certainly things being discussed by the state premiers and myself, whether that is the way they wish to proceed. We will talk to the health professionals and the economic advisors. In France, thousands have taken to the street in recent weeks over new vaccine passports that are proposed to ban entry to cafes and public transport for the unvaccinated. I wonder, you know what they could do? In America, they could use the vaccine passports to vote. And then they could just tie that to the voter registration to make sure that only people that are allowed to vote can vote. Then everyone will be happy. You might not get a politician that's suffering from dementia, but we'll have to see. You know, we can always hope. National Cabinet is also considering whether vaccinated people can have greater freedoms during any future lockdowns to avoid stay-at-home orders. It's simple. If you're vaccinated, you are less of a public health risk. You're less likely to get it, you're less likely to be hospitalized, and you're less likely to die from it. So in that circumstance, it only stands to reason there would be exemptions for you, the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister said that the vaccination target of 70% and then moving to 80% were not too high and were based on medical advice. The whole country needs to get to 70%, he said. If you're over the age of 60, I encourage you to please go and talk to your GDP. The AstraZeneca has saved millions of lives around the world. And he warned the Delta strain had rewritten the rule books for the states that had previously relied on contact tracing alone. Delta moves too quickly now, so it completely changes things, he said. So there we go, everyone. Looking at this poll results, I think we'll see vaccine passports here in Australia. What do you reckon? I bet you it'll win elections. One premier will do it. Probably it'll become an election issue, and they'll get in. What do you think? Do you think it'll happen? Do you think enough people will be against it, or do you think Australians would accept it? Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments down below. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create, here are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or AussieBroadband. Buy a merch from HeiseSays. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.